Right. Hello. So today is day 4, as far as I'm aware, of having COVID. As in, it was Friday or Thursday night I first started getting symptoms. Had my lateral foot came back positive, and then the PCR taken on that Friday, and then it was Saturday I got the PCR results back as positive. So I was on for a bit Saturday. Sunday I was really ill. So yesterday I was basically bedridden all day. Like the worst bit was just like the aches and the shivers. If you've ever had bad flu, you know what that feels like. So I had that. Thankfully, I didn't have any breathing problems, but I did have, like really shivery, kind of shaky feelings. So, and it was really hard to stay awake. So, or look at a screen or anything. So yesterday, I spent probably 23 to 24 hours in bed, other than getting up to go to the toilet, and refill water bottles. That's all I did. Yeah, so I'm feeling quite a bit better already, Chocolate Muffin, especially this afternoon, as of this evening. It seems like I think the worst part of it's over at this point. I'd like to hope so anyway. Because if I started having symptoms on the Friday, Thursday night to Friday, it seems like the Sunday was the day it had reached its peak of being horrible, and then today being Monday, it was sort of like the first half of today I didn't feel great, but as the day's gone on, I felt more energetic. My appetite's come back more and stuff like that. Well, that's how it feels, at least how I've got it, Ahmed. For me, it feels like bad flu, but bear in mind, I've had 2 vaccines and a booster, so I'm not going to get as badly as some people get it, and it would depend what variant you captured, basically good or bad luck. Because it doesn't say on the PCR test which thing you've been diagnosed with, but I'd assume Omicron, if that's the one that's spreading really quickly at the moment. So, it does mean obviously Christmas is going to be a bit crap, but hopefully, I think about the 27th or the 28th of December is when my isolation period ends. Yeah, okay. There's a new one, S, that's not... The newest one's Omicron, not Delta. Delta was the one from like a year ago. Sadly, I reckon they will do, a lockdown. Cheers, Justin. Like I said, it's not back to normal yet, but yesterday was the really nasty day, as in it felt like, if you have a really bad case of flu and you're shivery and sort of in bed all day. That was what my one felt like yesterday. But as of today, as the day's been going on, weirdly, rather than getting more tired, I've actually felt a bit more energetic as the day's gone on. I guess probably because I'm over the worst of it. But so that's at least that. So I'm hoping I don't have another day, like the Sunday, where I have a day where I feel a lot worse. So yeah, I'm hoping obviously tonight it doesn't get any worse. Tomorrow I hope I get just a good night's sleep tonight, and then I'm all right then. Yeah, so all right, Steve. Yeah, Sunday was the day I felt really ill. But yeah, it like I say, on Sunday. So yesterday was the day I felt really ill. I guess that was probably when the infection was at its height in terms of the body having to fight it. But so today I've still got a sore throat and the cough and everything. But right, glad you find it interesting, Yuki. But yeah, like I said, unfortunately, obviously I wasn't wearing a gas mask at whatever point I picked up corona. Yeah, it's blocked nose, but that's not the worst of it. It's not as bad as some blocked noses I've had from a cold before. Most Stoic Jedi, but yeah, it's more like just a runny nose sort of thing that every now and then you have to put a tissue up, catch a load of snot, and then it'll be clear again. But yeah, so other than that, what's been going on then? Because like I said, I was completely out of it yesterday, so I'd have had no idea what was in the news yesterday. No new COVID measures, but we rule nothing out. So yeah, who knows where that's going. More pictures of politicians getting caught partying when they said they were working, whatever. But yeah, not much on the front page, I can see. Yeah, Justin, I reckon that's what it might be. Um, They'll get chest tested, Jay. That's what you're meant to do in most countries. Um, if you've got symptoms, you're meant to get tested and then obviously not go into work or whatever if you come back as positive, and that's what happened with me. Did a lateral flow on Friday when I started feeling a bit rough in the morning. That came back positive, so had a PCR test booked the same day. That came back positive. Other than it will probably be a bit stronger on them, Steve, but other than that, no. From what I understand, and again, this isn't 100% scientific consensus, but they generally reckon each sort of mutation at the moment is more infectious but less dangerous. Because at no point yesterday, even when I felt really ill, did I feel like I was struggling to breathe. It was just more like, of just feeling really achy, a bit sick, The guess would be yes, Stoic Jedi, but the PCR doesn't tell you what you've got. It just tells you you've got COVID or not. And yet, no idea. I mean, but I've been working 7 days a week recently, so it's probably just somebody I bumped into when I was working. Yeah, I've already said I've had 2 vaccines and a booster. Again, as we've said over and over again, the vaccine doesn't stop you catching COVID full stop. It just lowers the symptoms you're likely to have if you get it. So you're meant to still get quite good immunity though, aren't you, Dan, if you actually catch COVID and recover from it? Obviously, for most people, you don't want to catch something and recover from it. You'd rather not get it in the first place. Right, so everybody's joining asking the same question. So a lot better than I was yesterday, because Saturday I honestly didn't feel too bad, as in, um, Saturday I felt shit, but I didn't feel shit, if you know what I mean. It was like sore throat, sort of bunged up nose sort of thing. Yeah, to me, Dan, it felt a bit like if you had a really bad hangover, in all honesty, the next day. That's sort of what it felt like. Um, Christmas will be a bit shit, I'm afraid, but probably the 27th or 28th, I think, is going to be 10 days on from, um, when I was initially tested or whatever. Yeah, so Dan, I'm a lot better than I was yesterday, at least, because yesterday for whatever reason I just felt awful yesterday. Like I laid in bed basically all day because every time I got up, I'd be like migrainey in the lights. Um, so all I wanted to do was just like lay down, and I was just shivering under a load of blankets because I kept, getting hot, getting cold, getting hot. So yeah, as we were saying, Jake, he said it, on one thing he's not going to do it, and then he's made an excuse up to do it on the other thing. So there's a few people who have said he's probably going to wait till after Christmas and then straight into the new year do another lockdown. They've been separating in the house, Flazzy, and like if we ever have to go into the same room, they'll put a mask on. But they've been doing a daily test, and so far they're fine. But they've also had vaccines longer than I have as well. No, Dan, mostly just played video games and talked to some friends because obviously at the moment I still don't really feel up to doing anything. Although I can't go out and do anything, cause, like being quarantined. I've still not really felt like doing much that's very physical. You have to ask that on a members stream, Dan, not one we've got loads of people coming on asking about COVID. But yeah, they just seem to have been quite lucky, Flazzy, but annoyingly, it has still fucked up our Christmas plans because obviously relatives that were coming over aren't going to come over now. But yeah, they basically all are Stoic Jedi because they use Americinium 241 as the alpha source. Although saying that, it's actually the very new ones don't use AM241 anymore. They use like a laser, and I think the laser can work out the density of smoke passing through it. No, I've never watched the Witcher series. I've played the Witcher games, or at least I properly played Witcher 2 and never got around to fully playing Witcher 3, but I've not bothered with the series. I've heard it's alright. Like some people say it's alright, some people say it's crap, but Alright, what I'm just going to do, I don't know how accurate it will be, but because my actual thermostat there's not got, thermometer's not actually got batteries in it, I want to see what the FLIR camera reckons my head temperature is. I know it's not a FLIR brand one, but it should still give me a good indication. Right, just bear with me a second. Hopefully the app still works on here. I think it's loaded itself up by default, right. Right, then I can put the thermometer bit on. Yeah, it reckons my forehead's about 40 Celsius, so that's a fever, isn't it, if you've got that sort of temperature? Because I still feel quite hot, but don't know if I can show this very well. It's recalibrated down to about 39 now, but yeah. My forehead definitely on the FLIR looks, obviously you can't see that when I've got it around that way, but I felt a lot hotter yesterday anyway, as in fluey and everything else, but yeah, I'll watch the Witcher series at some point then, because I do feel like right, not completely, but to a degree. So as in, there's stuff that I can smell but not smell very well. So if it's a thing that would normally be a strong smell, it's a mild smell. If it's something with a strong taste, like a spice, I can still taste it. If it's a weak taste, I can't. Um, so I've certainly lost it to a degree, but I've not lost it to the point like, I couldn't smell one of my shirts the other day, smelled really BO-y. So I was able to, think, all right, I'll put that out in the wash. Yeah, I don't know how you get an eye infection with it, but I suppose it can spread to your ducts, whatever. No, the banana oil was in the other room, but I wouldn't smell it very well at the moment, no. But yeah, as I said, I have actually had the positive result, so regardless, I got it, you know. And I've had it on two results, lateral flow and there we go. Just to quickly show you if anybody thinks I've been making it up, but no, although I've had two different texts, one says it came back negative, one says it came back positive, both within like 5 minutes of each other. But because I've got symptoms, I'm just going to assume that I'm positive. Unfortunately, Sing it looks like it, yeah. The Polish MP5s are actually good, but make sure you get an actual Polish one, not the Good. Glad you like it, Orange Jacket. But yeah, yeah. If you get an MP5, you need to get the proper Polish one, not the French one. All right today, Kit Kat. Oh, and I say all right, I mean not terrible. Like as in yesterday, I felt awful. As in, like I felt similar to when I had mumps, but at least without the face and jaw pain. But I had the proper fever sort of thing yesterday. Where I was shivery, even though I was like burning up, feeling my forehead. I don't think they can, Oliver, unless you have a certain type of test done. So I think PCR tests aren't the ones that actually test the strain, are they? That's why lots of nations never pick up on a new strain until like better labs do the tests. Yeah, that is the good thing at least, because as we were saying, Dan, it seems every time there's a new variant of COVID, it becomes more infectious, but less, whatever you want to call it, severe. So it ends up being more like a cold. Although I'd say what I had definitely feels far worse than a cold. Right, I did sing just mostly because my head really felt awful. but there's a mixed feeling on that, because some people reckon you shouldn't take paracetamol if you've got a fever, because it lowers the fever, which draws it out longer. But yeah, I did, just because at the time it was one of the only painkillers I had laying around. So, every 4 hours I took two. Yeah, Flazzy, and then you have to hope it's not bought by somebody where they want stupid postage to post it either. Yeah, I can understand why, Justin, because yeah, if they're having to, have massive backlogs of everything they normally have to do, plus deal with all the COVID stuff. Right, this is the only time, Tyler, I've tested positive on tests for it. Before, when COVID was first going around, like before we had lockdown in March, myself and several people I worked with in about February all came down with some like bad flu a couple of years ago. So we reckon that could have been COVID, because it would have fit the timetable right. It might not have been, but this is before you could even go and get a PCR test easily. Yeah, I had shitloads of weird dreams last night, Rob. As in, like, just not dreams that would make any sense, but like, because I didn't sleep very well, it'd be lots of short little dreams. So I had like one where this is weird, when I was driving down the road and I had to stop my car because there were people making an ROC post, even though obviously they've not made ROC posts since the 1950s or 60s. But it was one like, where people are like digging out a big pit and like, oh yeah, we're going to build an ROC post in here. I was like, oh, I can tell you about them. And that was a weird dream. And then there was definitely others, and I can't remember some of the others, but I think they were just generic kind. I think there was one when I was falling to my death off a really big building that made my legs go when I woke up, sort of thing. And I swear there was one where I woke up shouting like, "Oh fuck!" or "fuck," something like that. Where like something had happened in like a nightmare and I snapped up from it. But yeah, so I did have a lot of like weird dreams and nightmares last night. But I suppose that's just because I kept falling asleep for brief periods. Don't do it on this particular stream, Brighter. It might be alright to post it somewhere else, but don't do it here. Yeah, that's the thing, Fuzzy, isn't it? If the selling fees become too high, it's just too much of a waste. It's like when I had to cancel that helmet going to Chocolate Muffin because no way was a £50 to £60 helmet, worth £40 of postage. Royal Observer Corps post, Rob. If you search that, you'll find exactly what I'm on about. I've got a book over there, but I'm too ill and lazy to go and get it. But I can do. I probably would do a members Christmas stream rather than the regular one, but because there's normally the only reason I wouldn't do a stream at Christmas is if I have a load of family visiting and I'm going to be busy all day. But that's not going to happen now. So as I imagine I'll feel a lot better by Christmas, we might as well have a Christmas stream. Yeah, you'll have to just put all the things of telling people not to do it before you post it, right? And then you can do it on a members only one. Yeah, the only thing I will say with vaccines, Justin, and I don't want to sound like an anti-vaxxer because I'm not coming at this from an anti-vaccine angle at all, is just that with vaccines, because the uptake all over the world is quite different, I don't know if that actually makes them worse in some places. Yeah, so on Christmas Day then, CM, I'll try and do a members stream. I should definitely be able to do it now because I don't think I'm going to feel worse before Christmas. Because like I said, definitely feel better today than yesterday. And the only reason I felt really bad yesterday, I reckon, was because it was at the point when like the fever was at its highest. Yeah, you can certainly send me a super chat. I never oppose people donating free money. Well, it's not free money for them, but yeah, I've been drinking a lot of water today. Not for Christmas, Iron Man. I'm not going to get stupidly fucking pissed. Really. But for Christmas, no, because I did load in November having like no alcohol. So for Christmas, I definitely do want to enjoy having a drink. Yeah, Kofi's in the description, and I do get a bigger cut of it. The two NBC suits have been delivered, CM, but I've not opened them yet because when I open them, I want to open them on camera because they're in, like that airtight plastic wrap, like a tarp sort of thing. So when you open them, they never sort of go as small again. So when I do the video on them, I'll make sure obviously I unpack them on camera, so you can see how small they are, like what they look like in their original packaging. Because I'll never go back in that again. But obviously, with how I've been feeling at the moment, I don't with a fever want to put an NVC suit on, even though that would make your fever even hotter, wouldn't it, if you trap that much heat? But I don't know if it'd be very good for you. But yeah. Again, it's bringing back all the job sort of insecurity problems, isn't it? Again, if they're going to maybe do another lockdown, because that's again when I can see a lot of people losing their jobs. Especially if the government doesn't give good enough financial support to all the places, they essentially lock down or massively cut their business down. I did watch Team America though earlier, Flazzy, because we were talking about that Saturday, weren't we? And that definitely cheered me up watching Team America. I forgot how good it was. Right, so I've heard of some things like that where it's actually more dangerous if you've got gloves on than not, because with some things, if you get them on your hand without gloves, you can essentially pull your hand away straight away and you just get a burn. But yeah, there's supposedly several things that can like set gloves on fire and then they like melt into your hands. Oh yeah, okay, I definitely agree with people that there shouldn't be mandatory vaccines, especially not for everyday workers, because that's like your own personal health decisions, in my opinion. I really don't like the idea that the government can say to you, you have to take this drug. Yeah, Connor, as we said a lot of times, it certainly does help. It's just the only obviously thing with masks is you have to be taking them off properly, not getting the germs on your hands and then spreading them around and everything else. But yeah, when we had all the like big surges before, I always used to go out with a respirator on. But obviously, I've been unlucky that I've caught this one at some point when I was probably just somewhere with a little cloth mask on because it was more convenient for 5 minutes. Yeah, so I suppose, Dan, you want to be doing it, don't you? Because like I said, I'm missing not walking the dogs at the moment, but at least the person I walk the dogs for and dog sit for is completely understanding that if I have COVID, I shouldn't be coming anywhere near them. Because you see some employers like that think, oh, I don't care if you've got an illness, you come in regardless. But yeah, thankfully, the lady I dog sit for has completely taken the attitude of, you rest up and only start again when you feel well enough. But yeah, so like I say, even as much as I don't like masks like the GSR, this would be perfectly good for COVID. But yeah, saying that, I don't mind this version of the GSR so much because it's a much better fit to my face. But because I've got a temperature anyway, I don't want to have a dust mask on for ages. But yeah, actual proper P3, P100 respirators are quite good for protection. That's why you always see emergency workers wearing them in like hospitals. How my hair's getting long again now because it leaves bald straps. So the straps will. I've had the shits a little bit actually. Iron Man saying that for the last 2 days, but because I get ulcerative colitis, I never know if that's just a UC playing up. But so yeah, I would actually guess, Iron Man, that it could be that's giving me the shits. But I've been drinking a lot of water as well. So on some days I'm not like yesterday I had no appetite at all, but I did at least like every hour or so where I'd wake up from feeling horribly and shivery, where I was asleep, or like in a very partial sleep, I just drink a load of water, then refill the bottle again. Yeah, right. So, although this one's only a couple of years older, but the good thing is it does fit me exactly. So apparently, for no reason whatsoever, I'm size small in this particular mask, even though in most masks I'm medium or large. So go figure, because even the medium small is technically too big for me. But sadly I don't have the Avon version to compare that to. But you can notice some easy difference, like that bit looks different on there compared to that one that's back there. There's a couple of other things like that. But yeah, I've been taking vitamins, Iron Man. Yeah. The police didn't really use the S10, Dan. They used the sorry, For the so, for the most part, the police used to use the FM12. And whenever I've seen chemical incident sort of photos of the police recently, half of them seem to have GSRs, half of them seem to have FM12s. So I guess it just is whatever their force brought in for their own police. No, they're all right, Stoic Jedi. They're keeping away from me, but it has fucked up our Christmas, basically, because it means like a lot of relatives that were going to come and visit now who couldn't do it last year also can't do it. So we're going to have a bit of a weird Christmas, but we're just going to have to work around it. Like, my main job now is not to infect anybody else in my family. The only people I'm actually in contact with now, and hope that, by Christmas they're still clear, and then they can at least go off to visit relatives, even if they leave me alone here. No, Rob, but like I said, because I've been working 7 days a week recently, it literally could have been anywhere. Because there hasn't been a day where I've not interacted with people to some extent. Which is Iron Man, yeah. All right, Nick. But yeah, that's the other annoying thing at the moment is you keep getting like a really sort of irritating cough that comes on with like the slightest thing. Well, they need to decontaminate them if they're wearing my masks, but yeah, they have been wearing half-face respirators if they're going to be anywhere like close to me. So if they're in their own bedroom, they don't need them on. But they have been doing the thing at least of being sensible, putting on like the P3 sort of builder masks, just so they've got an in-out exhale sort of protection. Yeah, that's the thing, Stoic Jedi. I suppose if you actually genuinely miss Christmas, I have got the decorations down, by the way. I did it a few days ago, but I haven't put any of them up yet because I think everybody in this house isn't very festive now. But yeah, I'll try and in the background at least chuck some glitter or something in there in a bit. Not tonight, but but yeah, like you said, you could always do a delayed Christmas, couldn't you? Because I know people have had to do that for other events because of Corona. But like I've said before, where some of the places I work in is sort of the places where if you're going to catch it from a coworker, you're going to catch it. Because although everybody's meant to do lateral flows at least twice a week, obviously some people can have a lateral flow test come up negative even if they've done it. Go in with like COVID, and spread it to you if they're in an enclosed room, even if like a staff room or whatever else. Because the problem is in some buildings you can't literally open windows everywhere because like how the air circulates in some modern buildings you can't do that. So you're just basically cheers to it, did I? And yeah, I hope everybody there's all right, Dan, because 6.2 is quite heavy, isn't it, in terms of Richter scale? No, I won't say on here, but I've got something that's going on that I won't be attending now because of that date, but not because it's the shortest day of the year, just because of its coincidental like anniversary date. Yeah, that was totally frozen. Like I was saying, my worst day with it was yesterday because for yesterday I maybe only was awake for like 1 hour of the day, as in like properly awake and dressed and up, because I just kept feeling really shivery and wanting to go back to bed. Yeah, you just have to hope they don't cancel it though, don't you, Stuart? Because they have fucked over. I'm not trying to scare you, but I know they have really screwed over lots of disabled people with the Tory government. By saying, "Oh, you're not really disabled enough anymore." Right, Stoke, did I hope that your shift goes all safely in that, and if you can wear a mask while doing it, like a good mask, do that. Because like I said, I'm regretting not wearing a mask now. But when I say wearing a mask, I mean not wearing something like this. I mean wearing a proper respirator at work, even if they say it looks overkill or whatever. I know how gas masks are made, but I don't think Iron Man, sadly, they have done a gas mask on there. Cheers, Andy. Like I said, I think I'm on the mend now, even if I still have to isolate for a while, because of the fact that I don't feel anywhere near as bad as yesterday. Like I don't feel, anywhere near as down. I don't feel as tired, shaky. Oh, happy birthday then, Flazzy. So it's your birthday on the 22nd. Well, if we're on, we'll say happy birthday to you. If we're on and you're on, but I hope you have a good day. Yeah, that's the thing, Justin. Is again, lots of doctors don't want to leave it, do they? Because they know a lot of this stuff is going to make your health worse if it's left. But annoyingly, obviously, they're in a position where they can't do much if the government ultimately says no, you're stopping all these appointments by a certain date. How do you manage that? I suppose he must have been wearing good protection then. But, that's good for you, Stuart, because like I said, as much as lots of people complain, oh, people are cheating the system, I have genuinely never seen somebody that has been on those sort of benefits I don't think should have been on them, because they always seem to be people with loads of health problems. Like some of these people you'll see are ones that can't walk properly, like they're in a wheelchair all the time, although they can hobble with a stick. And I've known people like that who've had them turned down because they've said, oh yeah, but you're not really disabled enough. So, I mean, if there was a fun way of catching COVID, at least intercourse wise, that'd be a fun way of doing it, wouldn't it? Like at least with all communal venereal diseases or whatever they call them, as much as a lot of them are nasty, they're at least fun diseases to catch. It's not like you just walk past somebody and they sneeze and you've got it. But not that I'm implying people should do chicken pox style syphilis parties or whatever. But that would be a very bad idea. But yeah, I won't be on too long tonight because, as you can probably hear, my throat's already going quite a bit. Because the most difficult thing at the moment to do is just talk for a long period of time. Well, weirdly, Andy, today I did have a can of Pepsi, which really helped, just because I thought it would be really sugary. Because actual proper Pepsi's got loads of sugar in it, unlike the Diet Cokes and everything like that. So I thought, I'll have a Pepsi, and that might have helped quite a bit earlier. Like, I've actually managed to eat some quite good solid food today as well. So that means, obviously, I've at least got calories in rather than just calories out. But yeah, I definitely wear a mask into hospital because you don't want to catch it just before Christmas, do you? Exactly. Yeah, I've watched loads of Dr. John Campbell's videos and stuff. They've, said about the COVID, but like I said, at the moment, I think I'm recovering quite well. And I do have zinc in multivitamins anyway. So, I do get quite a bit of those per day. But yeah, right, I'll be off in a few minutes. So if anybody's got anything interesting to ask it now, I guess. Because, like I said, I'll be off in a couple of minutes just because my throat's already getting sore again. So means I've been talking too much. Yeah, it's good videos, aren't they, Stuart? But yeah, one of my friends has ADHD, so I can completely get what you mean there. Because there's times where he can seem like not stressed about anything when he is really stressed about it. Oh, is that universal credit, Nick? Because when you say UC, it makes me think ulcerative colitis that I've got. But yeah, I suppose that universal credit. I don't know what they even call the systems anymore. But yeah, I can completely get why people have to exaggerate how disabled they are if they're on purposely trying to mark people down on disabilities. Right, I'm getting rid of the anti-science person. Like I've said, I've had two different types of tests and they both come back positive, and I'm not in the USA, so it doesn't really have anything to do with the stream, does it? Um, the only way I could see about having that done, Mitch, was there was like a question saying, "Do you want to have it done or be given a kit or something when you have your PCR test?" But I said no at that point, just because I wanted to get the test done and be done with it. Yeah, I can get what you mean there, Nick, but it is horrible though, isn't it? That basically you have to over exaggerate everything. But yeah, right. I'll be off then because as I said my throat is already going very dry and sore again. Like it's always been dry and sore over the last couple of days, but when you talk, it gets worse. But yeah, David, I felt a lot more worse yesterday. As some people said, it's just like yesterday was the super achy tiredness like you get with the flu. Where if somebody literally said to you, if you get out of bed, I'll give you 20 quid, you wouldn't want to do it. And that, for me, I definitely normally would do that. But when you have like serious like flu symptoms, that's when you're just like, no, I want to sleep. Um, yeah, right. Have a good evening, everybody. That one. And yeah, I'll try and do a stream tomorrow or whatever. Because like I said, I'll do a members one actually if somebody wanted a members one, or that Christmas Day you wanted a members one. But yeah, like I said, I've definitely been feeling a lot better in myself today compared to yesterday because I wasn't on at all yesterday just because I was in bed all day. Um, but yeah, I'm just hoping by Christmas all the symptoms are gone. So even if I have a bit of a shit Christmas, I can still eat a lot, and not feel like lethargic and. But yeah, have a good evening, everybody. Yeah, I've got loads of bottles of water lined up fuzzy by my bed, so when I'm in bed, if I need to, I can just open the next bottle without getting up. Um, but yeah, right. Have a good evening, and I'll see you all whenever. All right, bye.